Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our June meeting. I'd like everybody, if we could, to please stand and give the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, no flag. Oh, there it is. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we can do a quick roll call. Laura Inserta.
Marty Schwartz.
Sheila Tessie. Julie DeMarco. Brenda Steele.
Carol Durkee.
Joe Craigie.
Great, welcome all. I'd ask everybody to please, if we could do an approval of our minutes from our April meeting.
So moved. Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. So, we did have an agenda planned for today. We were going to have Anthony from Parks and Rec speak to us, but at the last minute, Loretta emailed Julie and I. You have a question?
I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to figure out if we have a quorum.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
4.
9.
Because we're not voting.
So we're okay.
Is there anybody on the phone?
No.
Oh, so we can't vote.
It's not a
minutes
quorum, right?
then.
It's four.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah, so if Barbara comes, we can have a quorum. So that vote didn't count.
So what do we do then? Renege on that vote?
Right, we just won't count that vote?
Yeah, we'll table it to next month.
Right.
Okay. Forget it. No.
Sorry.
So anyway, back to what I was saying. Anthony Calabrese from Parks and Rec was going to speak with us today, but because Loretta is unable to be with us and she found it too bothersome on the conference call last month, we decided to delay his meeting with us, and we asked him if he would be available for the September 22nd meeting, and he said he would be. So that's when he will come before us. So we thought we would go into business at hand, and then once we get to new business, I'll explain what we have in store. So Carolyn, if you could please give us a Board of Health report.
Well, this is the first time in 2 years that I had a 20-minute meeting.
Wow.
There was really nothing, there's nothing appropriate for seniors. Basically what the whole discussion was, a gentleman from the other aspect of the health department talked about people living in places they shouldn't be living and how the health department has to get them out, you know, because they're living.
Like homeless?
Well, they're in apartments or flats that are not appropriate for them, and they have to be taken out. And all the things that go ahead with it, where you have to deal with the children, you know, if you're in an apartment that's not certified, or, you know, I guess you'd say, just not the way it's not certified.
Right.
And that's what he was, the gentleman was talking about. And that was really it for the whole time.
That was all Fairfield, just the town of Fairfield we're talking about, it wasn't.
Right, yeah.
So you had a speaker, basically.
Yes, but I don't have his name.
Okay.
I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Rob, I bet, the tall one?
Yes, tall, thin,
Rob
black.
Guerrero, yeah.
What's his function?
He's a sanatorium.
He's what?
A sanatorium?
He, like a health inspector,
Right.
that sort of thing, that was
Okay.
the topic.
Interesting.
And talking about COVID, everything was kind of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
There was not a real lot of discussion about that for the first time in 2 years, so it was a good thing.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Good.
Not that it's going away anytime soon, but
No.
it's just not.
Well, I think as long as people continue to get tested, and that's what seems to be happening, someone doesn't feel well, they get tested, it comes back positive, and then they deal with it.
Yeah.
But nobody's really, to the extent that it was, going to the hospital or that kind of thing, so.
actually, I just heard of someone who was 66 who passed away.
From it,
Yeah.
So
But it's very
bad
rare. It's very
respiratory,
rare.
yeah.
Yeah. And you were sort of close to that.
Mhm.
But it's very rare.
I think.
Were they vaccinated?
They were vaccinated and boosted. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else, Carol?
No.
Great, thank you. That was a good one. So Commission on Disabilities, Julie will give our report, but I'm happy to announce that Marty Schwartz has stepped up and agreed to be our liaison from this commission, which I think is going to be extremely helpful. And have you attended a meeting yet?
No, I have no idea when the meetings are.
Okay.
I'm still here for you.
Julie will give us all the information you need to know.
Okay, very nice.
July 8th,
July 8th. okay.
yep,
Okay?
4:15,
Okay,
here or or via WebEx.
okay, and I'll get something,
You sure will?
okay?
Yep, you sure will. We haven't met,
Right.
so nothing new to report since
Mhm.
last month.
Well, you're every 2 months anyway.
We are,
right?
every
Yeah.
other month.
So you're every 2 months.
Okay,
And what time of the day does it usually occur?
4:15.
Oh, same thing,
Yeah.
okay. All right,
Yeah.
Marty, so you've got your marching orders.
I do. Okay.
Which I think is great. So as far as new business, so I find that this commission is a very fluid body, right? We've, I think, gone through a lot of different and new things, which I'm pleased about, right? I don't feel like it's all stagnant. Like, for instance, we had to change our speaker last minute. Julie, she's on it, she has recommendations, and, you know, I'm really pleased to have that support, which is great, Julie. It really helps to know that we are, you know, staying on top and thinking about new things, and that's what I'm trying to encourage everybody in this group to do. You know, just because things are done the way they were always done doesn't mean they have to be. So new ideas are welcome, new speakers. So, you know, Julie reached out to me and asked how I would feel about inviting the detective from our police department. She is in charge of basically the youth, right?
Juvenile Review Board.
Juvenile Review Board.
Yeah.
And I got a link from Julie, I read it over, and I said, this sounds really interesting, something I never knew even existed.
Mm-hmm.
So Detective Leach is her name. She is going to come and speak to us at our July 28th meeting. So that's going to be, I think, interesting. And then on the heels of that, we'll hear from Anthony, so that gives us a whole new perspective,
Exactly. Yep.
which I think is really great. I don't know, when I left this meeting last month, I went through this, you know, very carefully. Such a well-done calendar of events. I mean, this is an impressive place we have here. And I actually took it upon myself that all of the events that were going to be occurring, I wrote on my calendar. And my goal is to try to attend as many activities here at the senior center that I can do. But I'm only one amongst 9 of us. So I'm encouraging everybody to please go through this. Write the events on your calendar. If you can attend one, it's really great for them to see us as a visible board. Somebody who is working with Julie and her staff in, you know, looking at policy, looking at things that are happening, and that we are really truly involved and not just sitting here and listening to reports. So I actually came last week and heard Brenda Kupchak address the seniors, and she gave them all an opportunity to ask questions, and they were all, I thought, really good questions. And she gave up her time, which I think is a value, and it's nice that we can get back to her and say, you know what, we appreciate you doing this, and I guess there was an ice cream social yesterday, I wasn't able to be at it, but do me a favor, just, if anybody can please try to attend at least one in the month, that would be great.
Mhm.
And I don't know how you feel about it.
I think it's a great idea. Carolyn's very good about that, you know.
Yes,
telling her
she
that-
is, and I've seen her at them, so
Yeah.
that's really good.
How many seniors showed up to the meeting with Brenda Kupchak?
60-something.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, it was very well
Might have
attended.
been a few more. It was
Yeah.
great.
It was a coffee and donut
Yeah.
in the morning, and, you know, it was right on time. She, I'm sure, put on her calendar 45 minutes, and she stuck to that, which I thought was good.
I did too.
And she works the room, and they're all happy to see her, and it's great, I think. Yeah.
It was great questions too, and it's nice because it's, to have her come here, it's a little more comfortable than going to like a big public meeting and asking questions. So
Yeah.
I thought it was wonderful.
Yep, it
Were
really
there
was.
any theme that they.
Housing, 830G, the, affordable housing, making housing affordable, keeping seniors in town, traffic, speeding.
Talked a little bit about Penfield.
Oh, yeah, that was-
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
What is happening with the Penfield?
Not sure yet. There's like 3 considerations: demolish, move, or fix.
Mhm.
And, you know, from my standpoint, I mean, I think as taxpayers, we've invested a whole lot of money in that, and I think we really do need to be really careful about the decisions that are made, because,
Right.
I agree, yeah.
it was supposed to be this, and then it became this, and it's like, now it's this.
And I think there's a lawsuit involved with it as well.
And, yeah.
Right, so it's a FEMA decision at this point, right? It's in the hands of FEMA,
Well, I
so
think
the
it's a
town.
negotiation, from what I understand,
Yeah.
with exactly how much, if they would give us money
Right.
for the renovation or whatever is needed. And
I hope
that's
all
what
of
it
it.
is, and
Yeah.
as well.
There were great questions though, and
Yeah,
the
they
first
really
one
were.
handled it all the questions were great, answered them with very direct.
I agree.
Did they talk about any of the housing projects that are being proposed?
Just, talking about the, you know, somebody sells a house and they put 15 units on it, and that 830G statute, how, you know, it's hard to reel it in because it was intended for one purpose and now it's being used as a go-around for zoning.
Right, okay.
But Brenda did encourage everybody to write to your congressman, representatives,
Yeah.
if you're not in favor of it, because a lot of people aren't.
Right.
They really don't think that it's right, because it's kind of in the hands of the builders and out of the hands of the citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it really needs to be addressed.
And there's a balance between having enough housing to keep seniors in town versus statute. So it's an interesting discussion.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
Mm. So on to what we'd really like to engage all of you in today is let's talk about how we want to see this commission performing in the fall. In other words, do we like the fact that guest speakers, anybody coming up with anything, you know, out of the sky, you know, are we ready maybe for a retreat? I don't know, I'm putting it out there. One of the things that Julie asked me to think about was an event for veterans, which is obviously one of Julie's real strong points that she wants to focus on, and I completely agree. So the timing was great. My uncle got recognized in Westport as a Korean War veteran and invited me to go to that ceremony, and it took place last week, and I brought the brochure. Julie was kind enough to make copies so you could all see it, but what was interesting is our Lieutenant Governor, Susan Bicewicz, really led this event. She must have been speaking with Sue Pfister, who is Julie's counterpart in Westport as the director for social service, or really for the senior center, not social services, but the senior center. And they had a really great turnout. There were 19 awardees, which is amazing because you can all only imagine they're in their late 80s and 90s. But it was a well-done program, and I said, well, maybe we shouldn't reinvent the wheel. Maybe we should try to do this. So Julie put a call out to Pfister, and basically she said, what?
Well, I didn't talk to her yet. We've exchanged messages. They did it on Flag Day, and I will get more information from her. I just don't have much more than that. But we have Veterans Day coming up. We're closed on the 11th, and typically we do a breakfast or a lunch the day after, but since it's Friday, we could do something that Wednesday or Thursday before. And we would organize whatever the event is, but it would be great if it was, you know, hosted by the commission if you're available. So we have to really give some thought to whether or not we want to, you know, honor, you know, what kind of event we want. And that's something you should all discuss and get comfortable with, whether you want to honor veterans and invite speakers or have, Laura, I think you did reach out to Tunnels to Towers and nothing yet. But so we could have a speaker, we could have a breakfast, we could have a lunch, and we can budget for that. But you know, give some thought to how, if the commission is comfortable doing this, and what kind of event you'd want to have.
Just out of curiosity, is there any reason why it was restricted to Korean War era
I
veterans?
don't know, that was one of the
Rather than World War
questions
II
I
or
think Julie was
Vietnam
gonna
War?
ask, yeah.
You know what I bet it was? The 50th anniversary of the Korean War.
Could be,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, that's right.
But I think it is. Isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
51
it has to be
too,
more than
yeah,
50.
so,
It
yeah.
has to be
No, it'd
like
be more than,
70.
it'd be more than, yeah, it'd be the 50
Yeah,
anniversary.
That's what one was
Yeah,
trying
because
to
it
do.
was 51, 52, I think.
It
Well,
was.
we'll get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, certainly something for any of the seniors that have
Mhm.
participated.
Yeah, because we don't want to let other veterans feel excluded.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. I mean, all the
Yeah.
Vietnam vets.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
They would also fall into this category as seniors at this point.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
well,
We
Yeah.
usually do invite any and all veterans and their families. So, you know, if we want to, you know, if we want to invite everybody and honor a certain population of vets, well, including others, we can do that.
Yeah, I think that, I like the idea of doing that, because then it sets that apart. Even though we're celebrating veterans, I do like that idea, so maybe you can find out why she chose that, yeah.
Yep.
That would be helpful.
Mhm.
It could have been an anniversary because it was 51,
trying to
52,
do
and
for
28.
28, because, you know, a lot of the World War II vets.
Are now World War II.
unfortunately,
Gone,
Right, I
yeah.
know. But there are still some that are around and want to honor them, certainly.
Yeah. Interesting, okay. So you guys are in favor of doing something as grand as that for Veterans Day?
Well, we can't vote on it, so, you know, I
Right,
guess we could
right.
finalize after that. So theoretically, that's nice to know. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do we work like with the VFW and the American Legion in
Yeah.
Fairfield?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the VFW gentleman there. They had a great turnout, it was really nicely done, and the lunch was really good. And, you know, I think most people, you know, that were being honored had one or two guests. It wasn't like it was, you know, a table of 10.
Right.
You know, but it was well done, yeah. I
The
enjoyed it.
speaker was Weissowitz.
She was your master of ceremony,
Okay.
or mistress of ceremony, whatever you, but, you know, it was basically just having each veteran come up, get their certificate, that was really what the focus was.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of speeches. So I liked it, she did come down to the 19 that were sitting together, and she asked, does anybody have anything they want to say? So a few of them actually got up and spoke, you know, either about their experience or their gratitude towards the event. So it was nice to actually hear from the veterans. I
That is
like that part, yeah.
Something we could consider in terms of honorees is the town was just designated a Purple Heart town. There's a Purple Heart Trail that the state has, and we could, you know, we have, veterans would register themselves on a Purple Heart list, but that might be a group to honor as well,
Mm.
especially.
Good idea, Drew.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know Michael Daly, I think he received the Purple Heart,
Yeah.
but his daughter and son-in-law are still in.
Yeah.
Passed.
Do we know how many there are in town?
We don't, but, that's something that we don't have that list, but,
Yeah.
once they're designated, I don't know if the organization that manages it gives us that list, or people have to self-register, I don't know.
How do you get designated as a Purple Heart town?
The first select woman, worked with the Purple Heart Association, doesn't sound right, and, had a proclamation and named the day.
Okay. Maybe your dad.
So, I mean, to get that, do we have to do something? I was just curious, to have the town designated, did the town have to do something?
Well, she made it like.
Proclaim it, so.
Yeah.
Just a proclamation, so
Yep.
it wasn't, okay.
Which, you know, it's not, I don't want to just say just, because it is a significant deal, because not every town has it. I think there's only 8 communities in Connecticut.
Okay.
And
I think that's
is it
great.
required that the town had a
Try that
resident?
into that, Julie, I think, that way you pick up everybody from,
Yeah. I like that.
you know, you get all the Afghan folks and.
Right, and it could be family members of, if somebody
Yeah,
has
sure,
passed away.
yeah, right. But is it required, I don't know if it's a fact or not, that the town had a resident at least that had received the Purple Heart?
I'm thinking it might be Brenda's father.
No, it's more that it wasn't because of any one person, it's just that this organization, this Purple Heart, it's not association, it might be Association of Purple Hearts, I don't know, is trying to make sure that Purple Heart, veterans are honored. So they had sent out information and we had met with them and talked to us about what it would mean for the town. And you get, parking placards and have events. So it was more based on honoring veterans more than, any one person influencing it.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great sign.
Yeah.
And I would think the VFW and the American Legion would know who the Purple Heart folks are, don't you think?
They may. Yeah.
I get all the stuff from the disabled veterans and all these other people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wounded warriors
Yeah.
and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They would have.
Yeah, I want to answer you wholeheartedly, yes, I'm sure they do, but I don't know the process.
Right,
So
right.
we'll certainly investigate it.
Because I'm just thinking, Julie, is if you had something like this, what if we got somebody like, the Wounded Warriors is a pretty vocal group, what if we got somebody from them to speak at?
Yeah, well, that's why I think like Tunnel Towers, I love their whole
Yeah, somebody, something like
support
that.
to veterans that are disabled and, the joy that comes to the family from that, generosity. But yeah, Wounded Warriors is great.
And there's an organization in Bridgeport, I forgot their name, but they provide housing for veterans.
Yeah,
And, they could probably be helpful as well.
Homes for the Brave.
Homes for the Brave.
Yeah.
Vince Santilli, I
Yeah,
think,
that's a
is the
good
CEO.
idea too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm sure he'd have good information for you.
Yeah.
But I think if we could maybe use the Purple Heart signification
Mm-hmm.
as our, anchor for the event, I think
Yeah.
that would be really good.
Yeah, I do too, that could
This
be
way
great.
people will know that it's here and it happened. We could probably
Yeah.
even get like News 12 to call, you know what I mean? Because that's special.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
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 Especially if it's scheduled around Veterans Day.
Right.
It'd be an ideal thing, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So will it be more about availability of a speaker than just picking a date right now, or do you want to pick a date that we would focus?
I think, well, we know we're closed on actual Veterans Day, so that day is out,
And
that's
that's
Friday,
Friday.
the 11th. So I would say that the 10th or the 9th, I think maybe keep one of those 2 days in your mind, and then when we come back in July, maybe see what the consensus is on
Okay,
there.
you'll do more further investigating.
Yes, I will.
I'll see if I can finally, get Tunnel Towers to answer me, but I don't know if it makes sense to bring in an organization. If we're gonna focus on the Purple Heart piece, maybe we have someone to speak to that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do a little noodling around and rehash it,
Okay.
next month.
I like that.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect. Okay. So that would certainly fill in our November kind of, but not for our own meeting. So let's talk amongst ourselves. What do you guys envision the fall to look like for the commission?
Well, I'll speak. I think I haven't been doing much with the age-friendly thing, but I think that what they are going to be doing is probably a lot of work, don't you think, Julie, in the fall?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, I'm involved with it, but I think that's something obviously the commission should be very much involved with.
So just receiving an update or?
No, well,
I mean, what do you think?
I think it's more than just receiving an update. I think the group, as we know, we've met John, et cetera, they always seem to be looking for ideas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this is an opportunity for us to do more than just get updates for it. I think we should assist them and help them. They're always looking for views and ideas, or we should do it, involved with them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a good opportunity for the commission for visibility, because I would think this project is going to get a lot of visibility, don't you think?
I do.
Among
Yeah.
all of your colleagues, different departments and so forth.
Yeah.
And so I think this is going to be a lot of work, but a lot of interesting work. That's what I would feel.
So are you thinking maybe this commission could be a brainstorming session on how to assist them, or?
I think that's a good way of putting it, Laura,
Mm.
because I think just a few times that I've gone to meetings here, when Herb has spoken, it seems like that's exactly what he's looking for.
Hmm.
It's reaching out, trying to get more people interested in the project.
Mhm.
And I don't know if he started to do that outreach yet, has he, Julie, to the other?
I think they've met with a few people, but we, I think, I get what you're saying. I think what probably needs to happen is when we have more people at a meeting, talk about, what the actual plan is to see who else would be engaged, because it's gonna be something that's 5 years,
Right.
up to 5 years, that impacts every area of life, and every age. From, I'm hoping somebody from the Disabilities Commission will also participate, just because it's looking at every part of life, and, from transportation to community, activities, to Parks and Rec, to housing, to services. So I think if there's maybe a subcommittee, or if there's interest, having a subcommittee on the commission to work with the age-friendly initiatives might be a great thing. Maybe not to sit on the task for that advisory group, but to work on some of those areas. I see where you're going. Like, I just try to envision what it looks like, and it's hard with 4 people, the 4 who showed up, to assume you're all gonna jump on board and do it. But
Right.
I think there's a way to, get a sense of the interest in the project and going forward.
Mhm.
So-
Yeah, I agree with you.
Maybe one way to start is to have John and Herb come back, give us an update at one of our meetings, maybe in the fall.
I think Joe would be able
Or
to,
Joe would be our-
maybe we add that to the agenda each month, have an update in the old business on
Yeah, I
age
think
friendly.
so. I mean, I've been out of the box for a while, so I haven't really been in touch with either one of them.
That's okay, but between the
But
3 of us, we should be able to do
But I think we should, yeah, I think
Okay,
Mhm.
that's a good idea.
And then we'll go from there to see.
and see how much involvement we want to get. I mean, I just think it's an opportunity, Laura, that this commission should look into. And if we determine that they really don't need our feedback, that they have enough, then fine. But
Right.
So the other question I have is, does it interest the group to have an age-friendly town or city that's already in play to come speak and tell us about their experience? And
It may, the group has already met with Greenwich. It's, part of what it is it sits in this department, so the commission should have a real working sense of what's involved and where it is and where it stands. So to have other people involved besides just Joe is important, because it's going to be a big thing, and it does fit in this department.
Mhm.
So, if it would help the commission to have somebody from a different town talk, I'm sure that we could do a conference call instead of having them, come in and just talk about what their experience is. And also we could share, Greenwich, we have their full plan and what it took and where they are in the process. So that's something that, maybe I can send out, and Fairfield Senior Advocates has put together a shorter version of what
Mhm.
the project looks like. So I think that would help.
Was Suzanne involved when they were going through it too?
She worked there, but that was separate.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a senior center project, it was a department and a town, it's town-wide,
Right.
but it has to sit somewhere. I mean,
Mhm.
you want it to sit somewhere, I don't mean to make it sound like a chore, but it needs to sit somewhere. So maybe between now and then, I will forward to all of you, some of that information to take a look at.
Did it sit in the human services area in Greenwich?
Mhm.
It did, okay, yeah.
It did, and it's not, for no other reason other than it has to sit somewhere, somebody has to just, guide it
Is
through.
there anybody that's specifically responsible for coordinating it?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking that person would come and speak with us, and, well,
Surprise.
not a problem.
And Fairfield Senior Advocates has done a lot of the legwork for us already.
Has Greenwich come and spoken to them?
Yeah, well, they went and spoke to Greenwich.
Oh, they went there, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a thought, maybe we can invite Greenwich, the Human Services Commissioner.
Yeah, that would be great, or their department head, she was kind of the driving force. I think part of what's hard is that I can't speak for Joe, and I think I can speak for Brenda. It's very hard to wrap your head around what this entails and how long it is. You know, it could be up to 8 smaller subgroups that investigate up to 8 other areas where you assess every single aspect of age friendliness, you know, whether it's, you know, walkability, you do like a walkability assessment of the town, and that benefits everybody, and you look at the activities in the parks and recreation, and it's a little daunting, and we're still educating ourselves on what that process is like. The first step is doing an application to AARP, and then having the first select woman write a letter of intent saying we are pursuing this, and that starts the process, and we're almost at that point of having that letter done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any funding that comes along with that?
No, and it doesn't cost anything to do. But it, you know, there's some prestige to it. The state of Massachusetts is already, the whole state is one, and they have 75 individual communities. It kind of marks you at your community as a town that people want to stay, right, that cares, and that, you know, is taking steps to make sure that people can stay and live out as long as they want to. Yeah.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
I would think part of that would include like surveys.
Yep, focus groups, surveys,
Right.
Working with the universities, Fairfield Senior Advocates, and we also met with Sacred Heart they have a role in it too, both helping with the projects, but also as part of the focus. You know, we're lucky to have 2 universities in town.
Remember, were you in the senior center when we did that Beacon Hill initiative of people helping each other get socially involved? Do you remember, Carolyn? This was way back when I started on this commission. A lot of time was spent on that, and it was with the Fairfield, you know, the senior group that helps raise money for you.
Friends, was it Fairfield?
Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was through the Friends. And
Was it the top 10?
no, I don't think so. It
Not the toughest thing?
No, it was about, it came from Massachusetts. It was the Beacon Hill Initiative, and I forget what the actual name of it was, and I could go back to my notes from way back when, but it was where communities help other communities get involved in different things. Overseeing on social activities, you know, health initiatives. New Canaan has it.
Oh, staying put.
That's it.
Right, okay.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of this, but is staying put still something that...
But it's still there. You know, it's, Darien has something similar to it. That's not, you know, it's hard with a larger town. You know, both New Canaan and Darien are very small.
Well, they charge, and that was one of, if I recall, one of the biggest stumbling blocks was that seniors were like, we're already paying high tax.
Yeah.
Why do you want to pay $400? I think it was $400 a year to be a member. But you join the staying for group. But it's very effective in a lot of places.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
But it reminds me a little bit of tying that whole thing in, right?
Mm-hmm.
For seniors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why don't we think about whether we want to invite Greenwich, either by phone, if it's easier. It's harder for people to hear, I know, but, you know, or if they want to actually come physically, that would be great. But, you know, I always enjoy speakers, because you learn.
Right.
That's kind of my, thing. And like I said to Julie, you know, we had to cancel Anthony last minute. Maybe we invite Marie Allen from the Agency on Aging.
What we may want to do on this floor is, as Julie mentioned, we have both Sacred Heart and Fairfield View involved with this. So maybe we should get some of the people who are doing the surveys. You know, they're still trying to figure out what the universities would be doing. And so maybe we should have them come and tell us what it is. I mean, it's...
You mean the university?
Yeah, people at the respective universities that are, when they ultimately are engaged by senior advocates or whomever to do surveys or whatever, then they would probably be good people to come and forward with. physically and describe what it is that they're doing.
But have they engaged them yet?
No, not
They
yet.
haven't
Yeah.
engaged, but I mean,
But
down the
you know,
road, as far as something that you want to, I think that would be, maybe something.
Actually, you just like enlightened me, but maybe we should ask the sociology department of Fairfield or UB or Sacred Heart to come in and kind of, you know, just brainstorm with us as a commission. Like, you know, what is a sociological, in-depth thinking about commissions like this? Is there things we should be thinking about? Are there, you know, new ways of approaching helping our town from a sociological standpoint? I don't know.
I think part of that will be covered with this age-friendly is
Yeah.
what are we doing well and where do we have work to do?
But that's going to be 5 years.
Is there somebody even at the state level, Julie, that would get into Laura's point, just generally, and not just focus on age friendly, but just generally on what they've seen human services commissions around the state do?
I don't know if there's somebody at the state level. We were just on a call with the Center for Senior Center Personnel with the state Aging and Disabilities Unit head and the commissioner, the Aging and is that whose name Margie was? The Commissioner of Aging. The state doesn't really oversee commissions so much, but it might be worth having somebody like Jennifer Leeper is on the Human Services Committee of the you know, the state reps of the House. So she might be somebody to invite to talk about what kind of areas they're covering. We could maybe see if we could invite a commissioner. I wouldn't mind inviting somebody from our Affordable Housing Committee or Commission to come and talk about what they're
From
doing.
the state?
No, from here, from Fairfield. They just came out with their report. Zoning is going to have a report. Parks and Rec has their master plan, so when they're here, we should ask them about that. But there's a few big things going on in town that I think we really could learn about, and
Are you in touch with the area agency on aging?
a lot.
Yeah, that's already.
Yeah, a
Okay.
lot.
Because I thought they might be helpful too, to sort of get feedback from them.
Yeah, yeah, they're great.
So that's two good people right there, though, affordable housing and Parks and Rec master plan. Now, Anthony would have nothing to do with that, right? Or
No,
would
he's the guy doing it.
So he would talk to us about that as well?
Yeah, I mean, for when he comes in September, we should kind of guide the conversation to what we want to cover. We want to talk about youth services, but we also probably want to talk about where they stand with the master plan.
Okay. So that would be September, good. And then do you want to try for affordable housing then for October?
Sure.
Okay. Everybody think that sounds
Sure.
interesting?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's, I'd be very interested in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, do they submit the thing to, with the 830G, did the town submit their?
I don't think we have a way, that'd be great to know for the update. Yeah.
I thought they had to do it by the end of June to
I
get
think
the
they did.
moratorium or whatever the thing was.
Yeah, they have to have a plan submitted, right?
Yeah.
I know we have a plan, they had a draft and it's online.
Well, the developers, I know, have access to the information regarding how many units of affordable housing we have and what we need to have
Yeah.
to be able to meet the requirements.
They sure do. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
I think it was a requirement for the moratorium, that's what's scary.
Oh, right,
I think it's really just for the moratorium, and then we'll have to do it again.
Yeah, right.
Two left to do to get where we're supposed to be.
Oh, to where we're at our level?
I think it's more than that.
That's what I
don't think it's done.
That is either one or two more
Right.
One or two more developers.
Projects, right.
Yeah,
projects.
Hmm.
To hit our percentage, you mean?
Or to hit the
To
number.
affordable housing,
Yeah,
yeah.
To be left alone.
Right, to have a moratorium, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
But then you don't know how long that moratorium lasts anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
3 years change, yeah.
I thought it was 3 years, so we're gonna be in the process of doing the next one.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe November, we could have somebody, veterans related, whether it's from, the Legion or from, the state and come and talk about veteran services. There were a few pieces of legislation that had passed
Okay,
that would be good to know about.
good idea.
Okay, so July is Detective Leach, September, we're off August, September is Parks and Rec,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully October is affordable housing, November something veterans, and then December.
You want to try for Marie? Agency on Aging?
Yeah.
And I was also thinking, you know, this whole like mental health issue is just, you know, skyrocketing with gun control and, you know, people, homeless people, and, you know, I even wonder what our state is doing about it. That could be something
We could invite Carla
interesting. Yeah.
at some point.
Operation Bohemian, yeah. Does she really focus in on that area?
Definitely,
Okay.
yeah, and more about keeping people in their homes. We don't have a shelter anymore, but we do have, she still does run the pantry and the soup kitchen.
Works for me.
Okay, great.
So I'll add that.
So we'll see who's available and then just juggle around as needed.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Good. All right, Julie, you can give us your department update, please, you and Brenda.
Great. Kick it off.
Well, payments, you know, usual, things are going well. We have the, July calendar is out. I hope everyone takes one, takes a few with you, and things are going well. Like, Laura said that the Brenda Kupchik presentation was really great. People were very happy. It was very positive. It was very good. Very good.
Any discussion on the membership fees at all? Or,
No.
class fees or anything, no?
No, so class fees, we mentioned it in the July newsletter. The membership fees was mentioned in last month's letter for out-of-towners. And no, we've already gotten some checks and it's very,
Fabulous.
yeah, so.
It is.
Yeah, so.
So July will be the first month that this new fee schedule will go into place.
It's September.
Yeah.
So we-
September,
Yeah,
okay.
we're starting it in September, the fall semester.
So either they're sleeping or it all works.
Oh, they're all looking month to month.
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
even looking to September.
Yeah, I was happily surprised that we did not get many negative comments about the membership fees. Most of the town residents were grateful that they were not charged a fee.
Good.
That it made sense, yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
happy, I'm not say happy, but thought it was appropriate
Mhm.
for out-of-towners to have a, small fee.
Great.
Yeah.
So that went well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, really, that's it. Anything else?
2 more weeks, Brenda's full-time.
Yeah.
Yay.
Whoa.
Julie's happy.
Yes, I am. Yes,
Now, why waiting? I can't remember why you're
A
waiting.
planned vacation that was already approved.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
yeah.
Excellent.
Getting that in there.
Yeah, that's a smart idea.
Yeah.
For social services, Melinda will be full-time as of August 1st. She had some things planned in July, just figured it would be easier to do it that way. We were on an interesting call today that it's not really a department update, just an update with the state about the unit on aging. Our state delegation voted with the rest of everybody else to pass senior center legislation to have a senior center representative as a full-time employee for the state. It's a municipal, I can't remember what the title is, do you? Municipal Senior Center Coordinator or something like that, which is a new position, which will help not guide and direct senior centers, but inform and learn about senior centers. And that's a new position, which is great. It's not to force, they say it's not to encourage accreditation, but to encourage standardization, so each town has certain expectations of their senior center, so all seniors in the state can know that these are the resources and programs available in their town.
Who is that
I
person
can't
report
believe
to?
that hasn't been in place.
The commissioner, the
commissioner.
commissioner, right, there's an aging commissioner
Yeah.
who's part of Women and Families Committee now, so it's whomever, it's a brand new position and it's gotta go to the commissioner, right?
Okay, right, they would
Right.
report to a commissioner.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what that means. There was a lot of new legislation that impacted senior centers and mental health this year. And that's gonna be interesting to learn about and see what it means. They have ARPA money that we were brainstorming on this call about what to use ARPA money for senior centers for. And some communities came up with issues that are not addressed, or transportation issues, food insecurity, and then just basic things like cameras, intercoms, that kind of thing. So we're gonna learn about what opportunities are available for funding through that. It was interesting,
So are they hiring someone for Hartford?
they're hiring someone for the state.
Yeah, so up in Hartford.
We're an unusual area in that Marie Allen and SWACA is, there's 5 AAAs, so Area Agencies on Aging. There's 5. Ours is the most unified. So during COVID, we had this CAP group. All the senior center directors met weekly, sometimes monthly, sometimes bi-weekly, but to share information and work together. And it was a gift. It truly was. I think it was really important. But what's unusual that we learned was that our group of 14 towns in SWACA already has a senior center director group. And that group meets monthly, but we met weekly as a group regionally just to share programs, and we continue to share programs. All the other AAAs don't meet like that. They don't have a senior center director group. They don't have a unified regional group. So I feel very lucky that we live down here and that Marie is our leader, because that is a direct reflection on her to have that unification.
Yeah.
We also have a small town social services director group that we meet every other week. And not everybody has that. The rural parts of
small town?
It is, we're big, but,
We're big.
there's 11 of us who meet every other week. And it's, again, sharing information and best practices. You can't do this in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
And Brenda is on the board of the Senior Center for Senior Center Personnel, which is great because we haven't had representation at all.
Yeah, because you didn't have a person that could probably be dedicated to it, right?
We weren't really engaged in the group.
Yeah.
It wasn't until COVID that we started really, as an area of our 14 towns, started really participating, because it was very Hartford-based. And now, we were meeting more and are much more comfortable, but now we have representation. We hadn't even been asked to participate.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it on the department update.